The Chicago Bulls show signs of life late against the Phoenix Suns in the fourth quarter, but unfortunately, it was not enough to pull out the victory. We're going to talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. With that said, y'all, the Chicago Bulls had a game today against the Phoenix Suns. This was an interesting game, right? Because the Bulls there were times where the Bulls were in this game. The Phoenix Suns then blew it out the water at one point. And then, it looked like they were going to 30-piece the Bulls. And then the Bulls decided to wake up in the fourth quarter and make the game more interesting. And, just to highlight what I mean by that, the Chicago Bulls, before they went on their initial 9-7 run, they were down 110-90. That was the score. They went on a 9-7 run, which then got it down to 117-99. They immediately followed it up from 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter to about 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Chicago Bulls go in a 20-6 run that gets them back in this game and makes it interesting for the last few minutes. In this run, Josh Giddey scores 6 points. Nikola Vucevic, who was tied as the leading scorer today, scores 5 points. Kobe White scores 3. Julian Phillips scores 3. Kevin Huerter scores 3. And this wasn't one of those runs where a team goes on a crazy run late because the opposing team has all their bench players in. That's not what happened. Kevin Durant played almost 7 minutes, over half this fourth quarter. Devin Booker played over half this fourth quarter, right? But then, with 19 seconds left, the Suns go on a 4-2 run, if you want to call that a run, to seal the game out. So this is one of those games where the Bulls just did not have the intensity that we've been seeing from them for quite a while, on the defensive side of the ball specifically. Offensively, I'll say this. It started off weird offensively for the Bulls, but I feel like they were more in their rhythm than not in their rhythm in this game. They finished the game shooting 54% from the field as a team, 39% from three-point range, right? Those aren't bad numbers. They have 19 assists on 49 made baskets. Overall, that's not bad, right? But it's just that this is why playing a full 4 quarters of basketball is really important, especially in winning close games. Who executed over the 4 quarters better is going to be. Now, of course, sometimes you can go on a late surge. The Bulls won the fourth quarter 37-28. You look at the other quarters. They lost every other quarter in the game. They lost the first quarter 22-31. Second quarter 29-32. The third quarter 36-33, right? Now, most of those quarters were close except for the first quarter and the fourth quarter, but you got to execute a full 4 quarters of basketball. So the Bulls end up losing this game by 6 points. Kind of is what it is there. And the story of this game just developed over time, man. And I'll say this. How the Bulls played late and how they executed down the stretch of this game, I think was really important for them to kind of figure it out over this road trip. Some questionable things from Billy Donovan at time with some rotations. I feel like every time I give Billy Donovan a positive and give him a compliment on how he coaches or some rotations or something, it always turns into some shit. Unfortunately, and that's just the way that it went this time, man. But it is what it is there. No Jalen Smith in the game today. Nikola Vucevic's minutes, which is something that we keep talking about, is Vooch. In today's game, the Bulls were -4 with him on the court. He had a negative net rating of 8.9. And we had a defensive rating of 141 with Nikola Vucevic on the court. When Vuce was off the court, we actually had a net rating of -2, which is slightly better, a defensive rating of 107, So, again, I'm not blaming it all on Vooch. Zach Collins wasn't necessarily the best in this game either. I do think his energy was a little bit better than Vooch's. He gave some, but listen, Vooch gave some energy in this one as well. He had a number of blocks in this game, which was great to see from Vooch. 3 blocks in this game, 24 points, 10 of 17 from the field. We couldn't rebound worth a damn either. I think that's something as well. Like the Bulls' inability to lock in rebounds in this game really, really hurt this team. The second chance points really, really hurt this team, right? And you cannot lose in those areas as badly as the Bulls did and really expect to be in the game. 26-9 was the second chance points discrepancy. That's two. That alone could have cost the Bulls the game. Could have cost the Bulls the game there. Then when you look at points off turnovers, they had 23 points off turnovers as well. So those are really efficient scoring places for teams. So if you allow a huge number of second chance points, as well as points off turnovers, which usually means your defense isn't in a position to really stop it, it's hard to win those games. So, the Bulls got to figure that out. And that just kind of is what it is when it comes down to it. Like, we know that the Bulls aren't the most talented team, but hey, it is what it is when it comes down to there. It is what it is, man. Billy Donovan just didn't have the intelligence to make the right rotations. Like literally, Julian Phillips hits a 3 and you take him out instead of taking out Vooch. I can feel where you're coming from on that one. 22-point first quarter. This one's from Rob. Was bad starts. Richards abused Vooch on the glass. Yeah, listen, Vooch has to stop losing these glass battles to players that should not be in glass battles with Nikola Vucevic. Now, maybe it's a little bit of coming back from injury a little slow. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's the case. But let's also not act like Nick Richards isn't 7 foot and 245 pounds, right? He's averaging 8.5 rebounds on the season. So it's not like he's a slouch, but both things can be true at the same time. You still need Vooch to execute better than what he did down the stretch at points in this game. So, that's unfortunate. But the 41 points from Devin Booker, that's always going to hurt you. Like, Devin Booker hates the Chicago Bulls. He has to. He has to hate the Chicago Bulls. I don't know what else to say about that. He has to hate the Chicago Bulls because he always seems to go off against us. Kevin Durant only took 15 shots. They got 26 points. You had Nick Richards with 18 and 9 in this game. Ryan Dunn with 16 points. So you got to start getting that together. If you can't take advantage of you playing against role players, the job's already done for the other team. And so, again, not to crap on the Bulls completely. Like it is what it is. You're not going to win them all. That's impossible, right? You're just not. But I really do wish that we would have seen the team just perform just that little bit better in this game, to be 100% honest. And that's something that they got to figure out on this road trip because we turn around, we play again tomorrow. It's not going to be an easy game against Sacramento tomorrow because you're playing off against Zach LaVine, who best believes Zach is going to be looking out for some revenge. I don't care what nobody says. That man's going to be looking out for revenge. And so if the Bulls can't get that part together, it's going to be an ugly, ugly, ugly game for the Chicago Bulls tomorrow. Second of a back-to-back, you went on a late game search. I can hear the excuses already, right? But, Hayes, they gave a lot of energy last night. They went on that run. That's why they weren't able to win this game. You better not come out flat tomorrow. You better not come out flat tomorrow. You cannot afford to come out flat tomorrow because if you do, you will get utterly cooked. That's your future if you come out flat against the Sacramento Kings because they are going to be charged up. Zach is going to be charged up. He's going to have energy going in that building, right? DeMar's probably going to be charged up as well. This ain't one of those games where you're coming in and a team like they have, best believe, they are looking to see what they can do against the Bulls in this game. The Bulls got to have it prepared. They got to have it ready. If Billy Donovan doesn't, it's going to be an ugly game tomorrow against the Sacramento Kings. So let's hope the Bulls are prepared. It was good to see Josh Giddey come back as well, which is going to be our next topic. We're going to talk about Josh Giddey's return and how he looked in his return. I don't know about you guys. I was really happy to see Josh Giddey be able to return in the way that he did in this game, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, we do got to get in a message from one of our sponsors, and that's Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in your non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on your annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing does involve risk. Rate may change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Also got to get into a message from another one of our sponsors, and that is Game Time. There's nothing like watching basketball live. The energy of the crowd, the sound of the sneakers on the hardwood, and maybe even a celebrity sighting courtside. If you want to catch a game in person, Game Time makes getting tickets even easier. Game Time's new feature called Game Time Picks filters out the fluff and shows you only the best deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time scrolling through thousands of tickets. I just checked the Game Time app, and there's an amazing deal on some huge matchups coming up. Game Time Picks even highlights super deals, giving you the best bang for your buck. With seat views before you buy, no surprise fees, and a lowest price guarantee, you can book with total confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code, that's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. We're Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, my Bulls fans, man. Thank you guys for sitting through with us, man. I want to remind you guys, Locked On Bulls does have a daily newsletter that you can get by just going to lockedondaily.com and signing up. Thank you. It helps us out here. But with that said, I want to talk about the return of Josh Giddey a little bit today, because I feel like this was one of the better returns from injury that the Chicago Bulls have had this year. You look at the injuries that we've had, right? Lonzo goes down for a while. He comes back. He shoots like crap for a while before he comes back. Nikola Vucevic goes down. He comes back. He still looks like crap. He's still dead man walking, if you ask me. This game doesn't change that. Patrick Williams goes down with injury. He comes back. He's Patrick Williams. Take that for how you will. We get this return today. Josh Giddey makes his return back to the Chicago Bulls after missing 4 games with that ankle injury. He goes 10 of 15 from the field, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a block, and only a single turnover today. And I've said this, I know I've gone on many rants about this, so I'm going to try to cut this. I'm going to try to make sure it doesn't cut into a rant, right? But I'm telling y'all right now, if you're still hating on Josh Giddey at this point in the season because of who he is as a player, you're stupid. I'm just going to be 100% frank with it. We're just going to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. If you're still hating on Josh Giddey, not criticizing Josh Giddey, if you are still having blind hate on Josh Giddey, you're stupid. And I mean that. I'm sorry. It's stupid at this point. Josh Giddey has not just been doing this for just what, like, for those that say, well, it's a hot streak during a time where the team has no expectations. You cannot complain that a team is winning more games than you want them to play, and then also say they're only doing it because they don't have expectations. But then furthermore, you got to stop hating on a player that's doing nothing but growing in front of developing in front of your eyes. It's not rocket science, y'all. It's just not. I've seen Bulls fans give excuses for less, right? There are Bulls fans at the beginning of this season trying to say that Talen Horton-Tucker deserved to play more. Like, for real. Real talk. Josh Giddey is giving it all out there on the court. Over the last 20 games, 20, not 2, not 5, not a few, 20 games. 20 games. Almost a quarter of the season. Josh Giddey is averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists on 45% shooting from 3 and 50% shooting from the field. If any other player did that, most Bulls fans will be talking about, why isn't this guy part of the future? Let's sign him up right now. The double standard, because you have a personal vendetta against a player, needs to stop. And I'm really disappointed in the Bulls community that you cannot, for a team that is still finding its way, for a team that needs talent, that you cannot put your personal biases aside to be able to recognize that Josh Giddey is playing, developing at a really good rate. Right? Again, this isn't to say that he's abstained from criticism. He's not. There's still legitimate things that Josh Giddey deserves to be criticized over. Make no mistake about it. His off-ball defense and his off-ball actions at times, come on. He can work on those. He's 22 years old. 22 years old. A lot of y'all, myself included, were still making excuses for Patrick Williams, but he's only 19. He's only 22. Talen Horton-Tucker, right? That's who at the beginning of the season, there are some Bulls fans saying, he's a bucket. He's a bucket. He can get to the rim at will. Why don't we play him more? Shut up. Shut up. Real talk. Shut up. The foolishness got to stop. That's what it has to do. It really has to stop. The way that Josh Giddey has come out here and over the course of the season, and keep in mind, I was the guy telling you guys through the first 10 games of the season, the Chicago Bulls were losing every minute that Josh Giddey got on the court. But you know what he did? He went out there and fixed it. You know what then I did? I objectively looked at what he's doing, and I said, hey, this guy is developed. He's fixed some of the issues that he's had here. The hate through the thin veil of trying to act as if it's criticism has to stop. Because you're not doing anything but making yourself look stupid. I just really don't understand it. The players over the years that I've seen Chicago Bulls fans cape for, and then to try to make an excuse on why you don't like Josh Giddey is beyond me, to be 100% honest with you. It's really beyond me. Because it makes no logical sense. I'm all for logic. Like I said, I'm all for criticism. There's not a single player in the NBA, no matter what level you view them at, that's beyond criticism. But this ain't criticism that we're seeing anymore. This is thinly veiled hate. And it's really just silly. It's really just silly. Now, Billy Donovan also did not rule out the chance of Josh Giddey coming and playing tomorrow for the Chicago Bulls. We'll see, right? But for what I'm telling you, I don't root against players on my team. I just don't. I think that's a stupid thing when people want to root against somebody that's on your team just so you can be right about something. Are you searching that hard to be right about something? That hard? Is it that important for you to have to feel like you're right about something that you're willing to actively root against somebody who's on your team playing for your city and fighting through crap? Is it that important to you? It's stupid. That's what it is, to be 100% honest. But all right, We're going to get off that. We're going to get ready to get into a break. We're going to talk about Nikola Vucevic. He woke up today and actually looked like a basketball player. We'll talk about that right after we get into a message from Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Expert ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivered incredible results. Posting a job is free and simple, and within a day, with multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring a full-time, Upwork helps you find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork, UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. We also got a special message for you.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the bracket breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
All right, Bulls fans, before we get ready to get up out of here for today, for the night, we got to talk about Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic decided to come and play a game of basketball today. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't know how to feel about it. I have mixed feelings on it, right? Because Vooch started off this game playing terrible, right? Almost a complete non-factor for the Chicago Bulls in this game to at least start off. But then he started to wake up some. And while there was big disappointment still from him in his rebounding, only 6 rebounds on the day where the Bulls needed every bit of a rebound. We got out-rebounded by 6 today. I can't deny that there were times where Vooch hit big shots that we needed to be hit. We only made 15 threes tonight. 4 of them came from Nikola Vucevic, right? Again, like we talked about with the Josh Giddey thing. Am I happy with the recent play of Nikola Vucevic? No. Am I going to be able to admit when he does some things well? Yes. Now, this was not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. Nick Richards gave Nikola Vucevic the business on some defensive plays, but I can't deny that Vooch, for us to get into the position that we were later in this game, Vooch did hit some good shots to do it. Now, should he have been benched for his defense at times as well so Zach Collins could cook a little bit more with only 18 minutes from Zach Collins? Yeah, he should have been. Should Jalen Smith have gotten some minutes in here with how Nikola Vucevic played defensively at times? Yeah, he should have got in. But this goes back to Nikola Vucevic's, it would have been his 3rd technical season here, his 2nd full season, where Vooch does some good things during the game, but is so overshadowed by the missed defensive rotations, the lack of rebounding. But then even then, I got to give him some credit because there was a play where he got 2 blocks on one play or one possession because he was fighting hard for it. And that's the nature of who the heck Nikola Vucevic is, man. He's just such a weird, like, with this where we are right now, it's so weird to evaluate Vooch. Because if you're doing it honestly, you can't say that everything he does is terrible. But the things that he does do that's terrible are so negatively impacting the team that it's almost like the things that he did, the few things that he did do positive today, I almost want to look at it and say, you don't get no credit for that. Vooch hit several big shots today. On the Bulls' big run, he was a part of that big run, making the right passes, making some plays, getting the ball off where he needed to, setting some screens. But I still look at this and say that throughout all of this, I still look at what Zach Collins has given us as a starting center. And I'd much rather have that at this point than Nikola Vucevic, because I feel like Zach competes harder on both sides of the ball. And that's a little bit more valuable than anything else, at least in my opinion. Maybe that's just me. So I know Billy Donovan's not going to do it. Right? I know he's not going to do it. But there needs to be a serious thought process on, is it time to bench Nikola Vucevic? Is it going to happen? No, it's never going to happen. Billy Donovan isn't going to do it. And I'm not going to sit here and try to cape to you and act like he is going to do it, because he's not. He's not going to do it. You know, and he probably shouldn't, to be fair. But to me, Zach Collins just is a little bit more consistent in the areas where he need him to be. But, you know, it's politics. It is what it is. We know who Billy Donovan is. He's not really going to disrespect his vets that way. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. But that's my time for today, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. We'll be back tomorrow night after the game if Pat can stay up. Just a little fun here. There go Pat. Pat fell asleep somewhere. He's just not there. He joined the room, but he's not there. Pat fell asleep somewhere. But thank you guys for tuning in, man. Love you guys. Go Bulls. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Pat stays up. Locked on Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV. Basically, anywhere you want to find us, you can. If you want to follow us, you can do so at Locked on Bulls. If you want to follow me, you can do so at CEO Hayes. See you guys tomorrow. Peace, y'all.